Okay, so four things that you need to be mindful of if you are an aspiring strength coach, if you are an aspiring exercise scientist, a holistic guru, actually anybody in the health field, this video is for you. And if you can take something off of it and you aren't aspiring to be one of those things, then I hope it helps. The first thing that you have to be mindful of, especially in my field of being a personal trainer, a strength coach, sometimes a psychologist, to perform as a coach, an actual good coach, you should not have a reliance on electronics. That's number one. So what do I mean by that? I remember one time I was personally in a seminar for bodyweight training, and there was a guy who was showing us how to perform one-arm push-ups with proper technique and to scale them and regress them. And this guy was as weak as they say, a butterfly's fart. He had all these cool things and gadgets hooked up onto him, heart rate monitor. He had Nonin. He had everything. He had everything to his resting heart rate being checked. He had these electronic EMIs checked. He had everything. Everything to kind of show flashy. And when he performed the actual one-arm push-up, it wasn't even proper. But everybody was still kind of impressed that he got like a quarter of the way down. The reliance on electronics will never, ever replace basic hard-working fundamentals. Anybody who's really ever working so much on the dependence of electronics needs to double-check the way they go about their work. The way the reasons that we have electronics is to aid what we already do, what we're already good at. If you are somebody whose audio doesn't match the video within this business, it doesn't work out too well. And what's happening is that when the visual is being blurred by fancy, flashy electronics and all these colorful things, we sometimes get sidetracked to what is really, really important. The second thing is not asking for help. You need to ask and speak to mentors. For me, I am blessed to have spoken to guys like Pat Menachia, Paul Napick, Josh Bryant, Charles Poliquin, all these good guys who have actually had skin in the game, as they say. You need to have mentors. You need to look for mentors. The most important thing is the millennial age, this age that we're in now. Everybody thinks that they can find everything on the internet. So they think that they can go on YouTube, find something out immediately about whatever subject they have to find out about. I've seen this before. Trainers and doctors have literally had patients, and they would tell them to wait for a second and go look at Google to check something out. Or I've seen, especially in big box gyms, trainers who before having a client will look at Instagram videos and then copy whatever the Instagram video was. And that in and of itself just says another reliance on electronics, and that also says you're not doing your own homework, you're not really into the craft as much as you should be. And it's like, what is this? It's like your trainer is pretty much a farce if you're not looking for mentors. You need mentors in order to be able to get to the next level of the game. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, especially for someone who has much more time in the trenches, as they say. So ask for help. This era now, we think that we can do it all because we have the internet, and just because we can find it all, that doesn't mean you know how to execute it properly. It also doesn't mean that you have the experience nor the time to have done so. Remember that. Ask for help when needed. You will actually grow your social circle that much better, and probably increase your network of opportunities. And not actually, probably, you will. So look for someone who's better than you. That is why the term sensei literally means, in Japanese, he who has lived a life before you. Okay, number 3 on the list, delusions of grandeur. You are not as special as you actually think you are. And as hard as that sounds, as tough as a pill as that is to swallow, everyone is pretty much on the same exact boat that you're on. What you need to figure out is what makes you uniquely you. That is different between you having delusions of grandeur. Some people have delusions of grandeur and think that they can deadlift like 500 pounds, but in reality they took a snapshot of them just only picking it up from a rack or something like that, and that's a delusion of grandeur to sell something. When the time actually comes and people are asking you for those types of tips or to show them, push comes to shove, and your own unique you is going to be actually your visualization, your audio is going to be damaged. so to speak. What I mean is that, again, in this business, the audio has to match the visual. Something is wrong if both aren't, in unison together. Being your own unique you is the best way in this era where everyone's trying to be like the next person. That's why I say that you're not as special as you think, because of how many copycats there are out there. And yes, everything has been said and done, but you can still do things with your own unique approach. Your own volume, your own frequency of how you give out a message is very, very important. And that is something special towards you. I always tell people, you're either pregnant or you're not. Don't half-ass it. You can't half-ass being pregnant. So be mindful of that. All right. The fourth thing I would have to say is do your homework and educate yourself. I learned just how important education is after I got out of school. And I can tell you one thing, that education will set you apart from the masses dramatically. Dramatically. I myself have learned a long time ago that it's at least 8 hours within a week. Those are like the 1%ers. 8 hours within a week worth of studying, worth of tutelage. That's like insane. Some people actually probably go for 16, and that's like their free time. Who knows what else they're doing in addition to it all. Your mind has to be very, very sharp. Ears have to be open, okay? Those are the 4 things that I got to tell you to be mindful of within your craft of health, a health profession, holistic health profession, strength training profession. Don't rely on technology. Ask for help. Look for a mentor. You're going to need this. Look for people who have spent time in the trenches, okay? The third one being delusions of grandeur. Remember, you're not as special as you think you are. However, if you create your own unique you, then you can start creating and forging your path, okay? And then the fourth one, again, just being the fact of education, of how critical it is and how much it'll set you apart from the masses. You guys, you need to drop the social media calories. Believe you me, what you pick up from the media is literally half-assed shit. Excuse my language, but it's true. Get in the textbooks, get some clients, ask some family members. You got to do it. You got to do it, all right? There's no replacing hard work, good work, smart work, and consistent work. Thank you for listening.